A Florida man was found naked with sex toys in a school on Thanksgiving. A Florida man shoots his neighbor on Thanksgiving over a music selection. And a Florida woman being transported to the hospital jumps out of the ambulance and escapes. And then lastly, Florida introduces a bill that will ban weather modification. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News. They're all from the state of Florida because it's Florida Friday on Weird AF News. Let's get it. A naked Florida man was caught inside an elementary school on Thanksgiving, just as the pilgrims intended. A man identified as a teacher was in the school. Oh my goodness, this guy's spending his Thanksgiving all alone in the school here. I guess it beats spending Thanksgiving with your crazy family, you know. You do you, Florida man. Okay, so the Florida man identified as a teacher was arrested after being accused of improperly entering an elementary school and, quote, running around the school without clothes on. This guy's name is Joe, Florida man from Jensen Beach, 34 years old. I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm just going to omit it from here. It's really not important. He was jailed on charges related to lewd, lascivious behavior, which is a great word. Say it with me, guys. Lewd and lascivious behavior. There's a lot of lascivious behavior going on in Florida, usually in a Walmart parking lot, which I recommend you avoid at all costs. He's also in trouble for battery on an officer and a firefighter. That's not okay. Also, burglary and possession of not more than 20 grams of marijuana. He's just trying to have a good time over there. His wife probably told him, get ready for tomorrow, Black Friday. You and me, we're going to be spending all day shopping at several stores. And he was like, oh, I got to prepare for this. Let me spend a nice, quiet Thanksgiving evening with myself and my marijuana and some sex toys at a place that I feel welcome, in an elementary school. Okay. Now, it says all of these charges are felonies. Oh, it's a felony to have not more than 20 grams of marijuana. That's really not that much marijuana, but this is Florida after all. They're very uncomfortable with the devil's weed. You can have 20,000 tons of artillery in your home in Florida, but 20 grams of marijuana, oh boy. It's behind bars for you in that dangerous behavior. Urias works as a teacher. He's a teacher, which blows my mind that he's also a teacher. He's a teacher at a different school, though, a Somerset College Prep Academy. So he teaches at a college prep. He just broke into this elementary school. Dude, you have the key to the other place. You could have omitted this one burglary charge, and then you'd only be on the hook for 2 felonies if you did it right. Florida guy. Florida man ain't so bright. You know how that is. It says here the Port St. Lucie police went to the Windmill Elementary at 9:30 p.m. after a sheriff's deputy who lives there. Sheriff deputies lives at the school? That's a strange place to set up your residence. The sheriff's deputy reported a man was, quote, naked in one of the classrooms. The man was later identified as Joe. He got dressed and went outside when he saw the deputy. Joe is accused of hitting the deputy in the face before being apprehended. A Florida man told the investigators he had sex toys, a laptop, food, clothing, and marijuana, and he entered the school through an unlocked window. He also claims that he's homeless. That's odd. He's a teacher, but homeless? I guess in Florida, that kind of makes... That's how horrible and sad it is, the state of affairs for Florida teachers. You can be homeless and be a teacher. Wow. A quote from the arrest affidavit says, considering the male was naked and running around the school without clothes on, in addition to the location of the sex toys, this incident fits under lewd and lascivious exhibition. Lewd and lascivious. You could say it like a cat. Lewd and lascivious exhibition. This guy's in some major trouble. Probably keep his teaching job, though. You know, they're very, very desperate for teachers in Florida. This isn't so bad compared to what some of the teachers have been doing. A lot of them have been doing lewd and lascivious exhibitions in front of the students during school hours, so this ain't so bad given the circumstances. Now, the sergeant of the Port St. Lucie police stated that Joe may have chosen this school since the children and teachers wouldn't be there because of the holiday break. Well, I mean, he could have chosen any school. No one's going to be there for the holiday break. Why not just choose the school you already work at? He's like, I want to keep my job, so I'll do it at a different school. This is so bizarre. That's the end of the article. We're not going to get into the head of this Florida man as much as we want to be. Do we want to be? A Florida man shoots his neighbor on Thanksgiving over a music dispute. A somber event shook the neighborhood of Lauderdale Lakes in Florida on Thanksgiving Day when a 71-year-old grandfather named Hurleon McLean lost his life in a shooting during an alleged dispute over some music with his neighbor. How sad. This neighbor wasn't very thankful on Thanksgiving. The authorities disclosed that they responded to the scene at 3:30 p.m. on Thanksgiving, discovering McLean with a gunshot wound. Tragically, he was pronounced dead at the scene. Very sad. The county sheriff's office shared that McLean was engaged in some sort of altercation with his neighbor on Thanksgiving. And it all came down to an argument over some music. I'm curious to learn what sort of music and how loud it was. That doesn't justify the Florida man's actions. But someone's loud music, I mean, we've all been there. It can ruin anything. It can ruin your dinner, your spliff on the balcony, an afternoon wank moment even. I can understand the frustration, but, if your neighbor's playing loud music, 1, ask to stop. 2, ask firmly if that doesn't work. And then if that don't work, 3, call the police at that point. Let's keep reading and find out the circumstances. During the preliminary investigation, law enforcement revealed the neighbor cooperated with detectives and asserted that the shooting was actually an act of self-defense. They got some information from the wife of the victim. Her name is Rose. She recounted the events leading up to the fatal altercation. She said that the couple was enjoying some Thanksgiving festivities with loved ones when their neighbor, residing one floor below their apartment, confronted them about the volume of their music. All right, well, it's Thanksgiving. It's 3:30. It's not like it's, 12:30 at night. Rose said that the neighbor visited their residence to address the noise concern, prompting her husband to descend to speak with him. Tragically, Rose heard a gunshot ring out shortly after her husband went downstairs to engage in the conversation, marking the beginning of a devastating turn of events on this Thanksgiving Day. And that's it. That's all the information. That's the end of the article. No report on what the music was. Again, it doesn't justify a shooting. But, if someone's going to play Baby Shark on a loop, that might drive you insane. Again, it doesn't justify a shooting, obviously. They could have been playing Christmas songs, and maybe the neighbor was like, it's a little too early for that, the Christmas songs, okay? Can you wait till at least Monday for the Christmas songs? I'm already hearing them on the commercials. Let me find another article and see if I can find out what the music was. All right, I got another article here, but it still doesn't say what the music was. There's another quote from Rose, though. She says, my husband didn't have any weapons on him. My husband didn't even have a knife on him. She claimed the suspect threatened her after he shot her husband. Rose also indicated that the man wasn't sorry. She says, quote, he was just standing looking at me with his gun in his hand the same way, and I go up to him and say, why did you shoot my husband? Why? And he said to me, if I didn't shut my mouth, he would shoot me too. Oh boy, how tragic, these Florida men and their guns. But more guns makes us all safer, am I right, guys? It makes us all safer. A Florida woman escaped an ambulance while being transported between hospitals. A Florida woman who went to New York City to visit her sister vanished in broad daylight on Monday after she escaped from the back of an ambulance while wearing scrubs, according to police. Jocelyn Garrido, age 40, of Kissimmee, Florida, was being transported from one medical center on the Upper East Side to the White Plains Hospital when she jumped out of the private ambulance, which was stopped in traffic, according to sources. Well, I don't know if you've seen the prices of ambulance rides in the U.S., but, depending on how I'm feeling, I might jump out the back as well just to avoid the charges. You're bringing me to another facility for more charges? No. I'm bouncing. I once got an ambulance bill when I didn't have insurance. It was $2,000 for just the ambulance ride. And by the way, it was only about 9/10 of a mile from where I was at. And I know gas is expensive, but $2,000 seems a little pricey to me. For $2,000, I could have hired a limousine. I should have called a limousine. I don't get to ride limousines very often. That would have been a good time. If I'm going to spend $2,000 on transportation, it might as well be elite. Maybe swing by a liquor store and pack that bitch with some ice and champagne. Make it a time. For $2,000, you know what? You know what I could have done? I could have probably hired 5 strippers to push me to the ER in a wheelchair. How cool would that be? I'm just saying, there's better ways to spend my $2,000 than just handing it over. So I'm just wondering if this is what the Florida woman was thinking. Let's keep reading and find out. They say the Florida woman Garrido was wearing blue scrubs on top and gray sweatpants on the bottom. She ran off at 12:30 p.m. She hasn't been seen since. It's been a while. It's been days. She was visiting her sister in the city, and her reason for seeking medical care is unclear. NYPD released a photo of her. They need help finding her. She's just gone. What went on here? She's quite lovely looking as well. Wow, so strange. Well, I guess one conclusion we can glean from all of this is that the Florida woman clearly is feeling better. Yeah. Hey, Doc, any update on the patient? Oh, yeah. She's up and about now. Literally up and about. We can't even find her. We think she's running through Central Park.
Hey, aren't you that PBM?
Middleman, at your service, doctor.
Don't you get rebates that save money on medicines?
Oh, PBMs like me get big rebates.
So why do patients tell me they're worried about their costs?
No one says we have to share the savings with patients.
Congress should make sure medicine savings go directly to patients, not middlemen. Visit phrma.org/middlemen to learn more. Paid for by pharma.
Hey, Todd, Daddy, how you doing?
Florida introduces a bill that will ban weather modification. Florida State Senator Ileana Garcia has introduced some legislation to prohibit weather modification activities in the Sunshine State. So what does that mean? A fossil fuels ban because of climate change? I don't think so. Ronnie Little D has outlawed climate change from my understanding, and the word gay is not allowed. Let's get into the what I assume is ridiculous details of this weather modification ban. They think that evildoers with mustaches are pushing hurricane buttons down there. I don't know if you're aware of that, but you should ban Bigfoot next while you're at it. Nice to know your government's spending their time and resources in wise ways. Now, the Weather Modification Activities Bill sets out that the injection, release, or dispersion by any means of a chemical compound, a substance, or an apparatus into the atmosphere within the borders of the state of Florida for the express purpose of affecting the temperature, the weather, or the intensity of sunlight is prohibited. Oh, shucks. Does that mean Floridaman can no longer shoot hurricanes down with shotguns? Have they considered maybe building a wall around Florida to keep out the undocumented clouds? That might be a way to avert all of these hurricanes. I assume this is all about stopping the hurricanes, right? Although I know there is cloud seeding that's done to cause rain in various parts of the country. But in dry places, I mean, they don't do that in Florida. They're not seeding clouds in Florida. And by the way, the cloud seeding process, I mean, you get mixed results with that anyways. So, the jury's still kind of out on that. And in Florida, it rains every day. It's from 6 o'clock to 7. And have you been there? It's just plenty of water. As per the bill, any individual or corporation that commits a weather modification in violation of the bill will be charged with a second-degree misdemeanor and charged up to $10,000 for the offense. I'm wondering if they're going to take any action against God, who, from my understanding, creates hurricanes in Florida because of the gays. So... Yeah. Come on, we can all laugh at Florida and their strange ideologies and conspiracy theories. The article goes on to talk about the chemtrails conspiracy theory, which probably came out of Florida. The chemtrails conspiracy refers to the belief that the government or another secret organization is using chemicals to modify the weather to extreme ends. The conspiracy argues that the government uses aircraft to spread chemicals and metals into the sky to control the weather, and that this is visible in the white lines left behind by aircraft in the sky. There are even claims that Hurricanes Milton and Helene, which devastated Florida, were chemically manipulated. Yeah, if you were paying attention, you would have heard that. This theory is not backed up by any evidence, obviously. The chemtrails is neither. The white lines from planes are actually called condensation trails or contrails. They are produced when water vapor from jet fuel combustion freezes at high altitudes. I mean, an easy dive into chemtrails and contrails will tell you that this is not some conspiracy to modify the weather. Although everybody thinks the government is just doing bad things to them. The last thing the government wants is everybody's homes destroyed and people not able to live their life. The last thing the government wants is people not able to go to Costco and fill up their carts. You know what? We live in conspiracy theorists seem to forget that the world is run by not evildoers trying to kill you, but maybe evildoers that are trying to pick your pocket. And if they're killing you or ruining your home or keeping you busy trying to swim for your life, then you're not out there spending money, which is what they really want. And I think anybody who's paying attention could ascertain that. Our government, and not just our government, most governments around the world want us making babies happily and spending money. That's what they want. And you're not making babies and spending money if you're fighting natural disasters all around you. This is the last thing that they would want. And I think you owe it to the rest of us to not be buying into stupid conspiracy theories. Like you owe it to the rest of society to think normal. I'm so tired of it. I get in conversations at parties and people go off on the rails and I'm like, it's one foul for you thinking this, a second foul for you out talking about it at a party. What the hell is wrong with you? Do you want to know a truth about reality? I'm going to tell you a truth about reality, and it's actually scarier than a conspiracy theory. Here's the real truth. Nobody is in control. No, nobody. The dynamics of this world are pushed around and run by complete chaos. And if you don't believe me, listen to Florida Friday episodes. Turn your news around. Don't you turn me down. I can show you how. Turn your news around. News around. Have you guys been turning your news around with Weird AF News? Yeah, you have. Oh my, it's so much better than mainstream news. Turn your news around with Weird AF News. Mainstream news got you down. Mainstream news has got your cortisol levels very high and you're stressed out. You think you might need to schedule an appointment with your therapist or maybe go out and get yourself an emotional support ferret. Well then, turn your news around with Weird AF News. I should use that as a commercial for Weird AF News. I should get Al Jarreau to do it. Did Al Jarreau do that song? Was it him or George Benson? I think it was George Benson. Jonesy, how do you know so much about old school R&B singers? Because I have taste, man. I mean, how long have you been listening to this podcast? You don't know I have taste? I have good taste. Anyways, I want to thank everybody who sent me Florida stories that made this episode complete. Without you, where would I be? I'd have to go searching myself, and that's boring as hell. So thank you. You can always send me stories to funnyjones@gmail.com, or you can slide them into my DMs at funnyjones on the Instagram. I got a show tonight in Long Beach. DM me if you'd like some, or go to my Instagram account for that information. Tomorrow night, Saturday night, is in downtown LA. So just local shows while I'm in town. Yeah, I try to do local shows when I can. And yeah. Oh, big thanks, by the way. I got something in the mail yesterday that was quite lovely. It was a gift. It was a gift from Carla. No last name, by the way. So I need to know who Carla is. That sent me this amazing. It's a cow. It's a very plush, warm, large cow hoodie. I don't know how to describe this thing. It looked like a onesie when I got it. I thought it was a cow onesie. It looked like that. It's got a zipper down the front, but it's actually just a hoodie. It only goes down past my waist, and it's got udders where there's a pocket in the front. I mean, I'm going to post a picture of it on the Instagram and stuff so you guys can see what it is, but it's pretty awesome. And it couldn't have came at a better time when the temperature's starting to drop here in Los Angeles. So I'm going to be rocking this cow hoodie. Oh, it's so warm, too. It's a little big. I could probably fit two of me in there, but that's all right. That's all right. I'm going to enjoy it. Maybe I'll find some nice person to get inside with me. Who knows? Anyways, Carla, whoever you are, please email me or call the show or slide into my DMs. Just let me know who you are. I really need to give you the credit that's really due. It's a very, very sweet gift of you. I have some amazing listeners. I have to say, very supportive people. So I'm just grateful. That's what I'm grateful for this holiday season is my listeners, for sure. If you guys want to send me a holiday treat of some sort, you could just email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. And if you want to mail me something, I'll give you my address. I have a tree nut allergy, so please no nuts. And I'm allergic to anthrax, so don't send that as well. And fentanyl. I'm very allergic to fentanyl. Don't send me a Fenty-laced hat of some sort. I'm not going to be into that. You can also go to my website, weirdafnews.com, and just join the Patreon by clicking on the Patreon banner, or you can click where it says buy a coffee and buy me coffee, which I may spend on spirits for the holiday season. I do like me some spirits. Big gin fan, in case you're wondering. I'm a big gin fan. If you want to send me some gin. Gin and coffee, man. That's it. Coffee for the holidays, gin for the holidays. Gin is a better summer drink because it's got very cooling properties, but I'll whip up a Tom Collins in the middle of January. I'm not averse to such maneuvers. Averse to such maneuvers. Where does this guy get this vocabulary? I like to read and stuff. Good luck with your life, man.